We are live, and we have, well, I have my co-host Leo, and we have Kyle with us.
Kia ora.
Today. Nice.
Hi.
So we had a bit of a disaster today. So we did a podcast before this, and I forgot to press record on it, the audio. So I've got the video of everything, which is going to sound terrible because the audio is terrible on the cameras.
It was the greatest podcast there ever was. Except for this episode with Carl. This is going to be the greatest.
You'll never hear.
Yeah, you'll never hear it.
Well, you'll hear snippets of it, I guess. So, so Sasha was a little bit done.
Tenacious D song. What is it? The greatest song ever. But yeah, anyway.
Good to
So
have you, Carl.
we're recording? We're on.
We are recording.
It's
so
live.
I can say for a fact that we are recording.
Fantastic.
It says, because there's a button there that says stop recording. So
that's how.
and the audio looks all good. The cameras are all working, so we are good to go. And I've got my smoothie here.
Oh,
good.
nice.
So
Nice.
there we go.
Fantastic.
What's in that?
It's actually it's Magic Mike. Magic Mike? No, no.
Magic
I
Mike.
don't want to say Magic Mike in your drink.
Must be the
Channing
wife's
Tatum in
protein
a
powder.
What?
It's Macro Mike.
Macro Mike. Okay, yeah.
That's way better. Okay.
Yeah, Macro Mike.
What is that?
So thank you, Macro Mike.
Okay, right.
Maybe you should
Magic Mike
sponsor
was the
They
family
should.
movie last night.
Yeah.
Well,
Was it?
Channing Tatum's going to sponsor you, either one, but yes.
Oh yeah, that is the Channing Tatum one, eh?
Uh,
Is it Tatum?
I don't know.
Totem?
Channing
No.
Tate Yum.
No, I don't know.
Too
That's a
much.
joke of some movie.
Too much, Leo.
We got Carl
Yeah.
here. Why we got Carl here? Why
yeah,
did
what
you
am,
bring
what
him?
am I doing here?
Okay. So today, well, we all started the 75 hard challenge. I say we all, so there's one less, there's one person that's not here, Boss, but Boss had to
man.
go somewhere.
Missy Boss.
So we will get Boss back on.
What's
later.
75 hard, sir?
So, well, okay, you explain 75 hard. You've got it on your...
Oh, I did. I think I lost it. I wanted to say who actually invented it. Do you know who
Oh.
invented it?
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
No, neither.
No,
did
I thought John did.
Yeah, I thought John invented it. Because you've done it before, haven't you?
I have.
Right. So you came with some experience.
Yep.
Let me see who has actually created it. Give me a second.
Dude
All
in
right,
the
so,
US,
okay,
isn't
but
it?
the 75 hard challenges that you've got to do 2 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside. You have to read 10 pages in
Yes.
not any book. I think it has to be a
Non-fiction.
Self-help.
non-fiction.
Yeah.
I just say it doesn't matter. As long as you're reading a book and you're enjoying it, 10 pages. You have to have some sort of diet. Can be any diet. So it can be an all-meat diet, can be a low-carb diet, could be a paleo diet, whatever you want. So you
Fast
choose
food.
what that is. No fast
75
food.
days at McDonald's. Ooh, there's a
No zero
documentary.
sugar.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
zero
it?
sugar, right?
No, that's not
No?
wrong.
Oh, so no
That's your-
alcohol.
you've
Oh,
made-
no,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I just panicked then. back to zero.
I'm sure there's sugar in that Channing
So,
Tatum.
yeah.
You got right
Sorry,
there.
zero alcohol. 4 liters of water, just a little bit. 1 gallon of water, which is just
3.7
Three.
liters.
yeah, 3.7 liters of
round it
water.
out, so.
Yes.
And I feel I'm forgetting something
no, I
else.
think you take a daily photo of your progress.
Oh, daily photo.
Yep.
But there's something else to do.
Kyle, is there something else?
I'm just trying to get that daily photo processed in my mind because I haven't been doing that.
Oh, I haven't.
Man.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Yep.
I don't know. Let me see here. Follow nutrition plan. Yep, we've done that. Complete 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside. Did
Yep.
you say that?
Yeah.
Drink a gallon of water. Read 10 pages
Yep.
of educational or self-improvement. Yours has been UFO books, right?
That's been
are
UFO
they
books all day.
self-improvement? Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit self-improvement. Yeah.
Each day take a progress photo, and then no alcohol was the one that we were doing. Yeah, and no cheat meals.
No cheat meals. That's the one I was. Yeah. So
yeah, no
no
cheat
takeaways.
meals. No takeaways.
yeah, no cheat meals.
Been zero takeaways.
Yeah.
The local
So-
bars going under.
So we started that.
Are they calling you? Hey
yeah,
man,
yeah, dude, where are you, man?
we got like all these kids
I'm a bit
left
busy,
over.
man.
What's going on?
20 days left, I'll be back.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So we started that 50
Yeah, 55 days
ago or something. like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 55.
It just flies
Well
by,
done.
really.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
So, yeah, so I did it first I think I did it last year, beginning of last year, and it was like a huge benefit. I think more than it does, or what it does really is puts you into a routine. And that's
Yeah.
all you know, when you want to do something, it's just trying to get into a routine to make it make it part of your everyday life. And that's what 75 Hard I found did with me. It put me into like a bit of a routine. Even when I finished it, I was still continuing as much as I could with it. So I was still doing, still going for runs and wasn't keeping such a strict diet. But yeah, I just remember that first burger that I had was just like that first carb. Because the first time I did it, I did a low carb vegan diet.
Right.
So that was, so doing CrossFit plus Jiu Jitsu plus going running with like no carbs whatsoever.
Damn.
Man.
You must have been a skeleton.
So I was dropping. It's kind of funny though. Like when the first month, because I was doing it with Boss the first time round, and the first month I didn't drop that much weight at all.
Right.
It was really like Boss was dropping loads.
Yeah.
Because you got 4 kgs of water in you all of a sudden.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I wasn't dropping it, and then it took I'd say 6 weeks for it to then start really dropping off, and then I got to about 76, 77, and I was actually starting to get a little bit even lower than that. I think that's just too low for me.
Right.
So, yeah.
And why did you do it? Like, why did you want to do a
I was just getting
75
fat.
challenge? Oh, you thought you were getting fat.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, fat for me.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I was probably at
Everyone
my
does it.
heaviest. I think I was weighing like 84 kgs or something like that. I was starting to get like a little bit of a
Pure
tummy. I was
muscle.
like, no,
Pure
I can't
muscle,
have that.
John. That's what it was, mate.
What's it?
It was pure muscle. You're
Pure
just-
muscle. I wish
yeah.
it was pure muscle.
84,
Then
man.
why did you do it? What was the reason for you to jump on
Because
75
you're
hard?
peer pressuring me.
Well, the funny thing about you is you came in like on the 12th hour, like out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like, hey guys,
literally.
I'll
I think
do
that
it.
week, that week that we were going to start, we're like,
the
no, I'm
day
going to do
off.
it too.
Yeah, you're like, I'll do it too. Like, what do I have to do? I was like, whoa, you came out of nowhere. But
Yeah.
what was your reason? Except for the peer pressure.
I think, probably just to switch things up, eh? Like push the restart button,
Yeah.
do something different, do something good for my body
Yes.
and mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, remember Hamish saying, because he's done it too, I'm pretty sure. And he
Hamish?
was
Okay.
saying,
He's done everything, that man.
yeah, good for the mind. He's like the mental side, and I was like, okay, cool, jump into it.
Before doing hard 75 hard, I always get it the wrong way around. I can never say it the right way.
Before doing hard. I mean,
You
75.
keep drinking your drink, all right? Were you someone that went out a lot, ate bad food, drank quite a bit?
I
Or
think
were you a very healthy person?
yeah, no, my diet's pretty good because the missus is pretty strict on the kids and what we eat.
So you're grouped as one of the kids?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, okay.
Yeah, just eat what I'm told. But probably, just with my work culture and things like that, there is quite a bit of, long lunches and, client meetings at the pubs and things like that, which I always thought, oh, no, you just have to do that. And now I've totally proven to myself, actually, no. You don't have to at
So
all.
what happens now when you're at one of your work lunches? I am doing the quotation marks for those that are listening. And you're doing a business deal and they're rocking up the beers. What do you do now?
Well, I've actually suggested a lot of breakfast meetings.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And people are loving it. But also, you can have a 0 alcohol beer, soda water, lime. Like, people don't actually care. I think it's easier if you say, oh, I'm doing this challenge, and then they're like, oh, what's that about? And
Do you find it's a topic of conversation when you bring it up?
yeah, totally. People, when you tell people what you're doing, they kind of look at you like you're a bit weird, though. Like, why would you do that?
Nothing's changed for you, my friend.
Yeah, true. Same
was
old
me.
look.
For all of us, we're all weird. That's
Yeah,
why
we're
we're
all
doing
weird.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
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 So that's interesting. And for you, like this time round, has it been easier?
Can I
Was
be
it
honest with
harder?
you?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
here we go.
I think I failed at like day 15.
Oh, so it's just you and I, the true.
We're the only.
Okay, wait.
What's the
Okay, no,
story?
wait. There's the story. Okay, so I still have been doing it mostly.
This is awesome.
Okay, kids, it's all right to do what
And I didn't
John's
want to
doing.
derail you guys
Yeah.
because but So what happened was
You got vodka in that smoothie, do you?
Channing Tatum young with vodka.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
So what happened was, I think it was around day 15 or so, because I went to Wellington, and so I flew down there. I think on that day I got 2 exercises in. I think it was the day after that. Woke up, went and did a CrossFit session in Wellington, then went into a meeting, which it went the entire day. And so I didn't have any time to do, and then straight after that, we went straight to dinner. And then we were with clients. I had no...
Yeah.
No, excuse me, guys. I'm just going to do a workout.
I've done this excuse once where, like a jiu-jitsu, like if you go to both classes, what's that, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
2.5 hours, and you might go, okay, I need to do 245 minutes, which is 90 minutes. But so I've had 1 or 2 days where maybe I didn't get the morning exercise, but if I did all the jiu-jitsu and everything else, I'm like, that's more than 90 minutes. So in my mind, I'm like, continue.
I think
is that kind of what you did? You're like, oh, I'll just continue.
Yeah, I guess so. On that day, I couldn't do. So I just went back to day 1 basically. But I guess it's all about consistency. And if you think about jiu-jitsu, it's all about consistency with what you're doing, right? So it's and I think the worst thing you can probably do is, and 75 hard challenge is like that. So you do your 75 days, and then you do really well with that. And then straight afterwards, you then back onto the burgers, back onto all the bad eating, back on the sugar. And then you kind of lose all that momentum that you had over those 3 months. So I guess what the first time, because I was very strict on the first time I did it, like I was, everything didn't. And I think if you're at home and you're not traveling, it's easier. Because you're kind of in your environment.
Well, it takes you out of your routine when you travel.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So even though like you can try your best to try and do it, but I mean, I would have probably got home at like 10, 11 o'clock, and then I'd have to, and then
go for a run,
or do something. So
how many walks have you gone at late at night?
Oh, mate, quite a few.
I've done it
in the rain.
I've seen your photos of me in the rain going, well, I'm doing the walk at 5 a.m. in the rain. This sucks.
Yeah.
So I guess for me it's more around it's the consistency with it, and even after 75 hards, actually trying to I still drink 4 liters of water. I fill up my Yeti, one.
It's a beast that thing.
Is it a 1 gallon? Yeah, my 1 gallon Yeti, container, and I still try and drink that as much as I can during the day, or I'll polish that off. And then with eating, I've been kind of monitoring my eating, and I don't eat that badly. I think sugar is just the big thing for me. Like if I can just sugar, and eating later in the evening. I think if you can cut those 2 things out, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just limiting the amount of sugar that you have, and then when you come, every single time I come back from jiu-jitsu, I come back and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So and then if I
what do you do? You wait. You're just drinking more water and don't try and eat. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. There you should be probably drinking more water.
Yeah.
Or having like a smoothie or something. That would be much better.
Yeah.
Than grabbing a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Before or after you're talking about?
After.
Yeah.
Training. Yeah.
So, I've known to stuff my face after training.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'd come home, wife would be like, do you want a cup of tea? With a cup of tea, chocolate biscuit.
Yes.
And that starts to become a daily routine.
Yes.
But you've actually also had a chocolate biscuit at work, because we stock it up. Our fridge is stocked up for the staff, and there's stuff that we shouldn't buy. But it's there, and so you start.
You're the CEO, mate.
I've done
you're
3
in
emails.
control of that.
I deserve a chocolate biscuit, and then you're like,
it's nice having a chocolate biscuit with your coffee.
Yeah,
mate. I haven't had a chocolate biscuit in about 20 years.
Really? Okay, so but what was your go-to thing that you probably shouldn't be having? Was it beer?
After
whenever?
Yeah, no, I'd never have a beer after training or anything like that. It would literally just food that you just don't need.
Yeah.
Like I'd have that protein yogurt that with granola in it.
Oh yeah.
And then walnuts and stuff.
Isn't that
so
good?
actually probably healthy food,
That's healthy.
but did I actually need it?
Right.
Because I thought I was in pretty good shape and I'm naturally a pretty skinny guy.
You are,
But
but I
doing the
noticed,
75,
I
I'm
noticed.
like, oh, actually, there was quite a bit of fat.
But you have slimmed down loads.
I
eh?
noticed he walked in
I
on
know.
one of the,
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah, I
days
know.
into the
I
club, and I
actually
was like,
don't want to
bro,
lose any more weight.
you can't-
I've lost 3 kgs and I've lost 4% off my body fat,
Wow.
according to my crappy scales. But I don't want to lose any more weight.
Right.
But I would like to lose more fat. So
Yes.
I'm like, man, how do you do that when you're 42?
Mm.
We need those roids.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me good.
I was going to say it's the way you could do it is by having water at your house that looks like foam's coming out of the taps. Is that, would you like to
Yeah.
explain that?
Not really. But if anyone's a tank expert out there, you can give me a call.
What have you accidentally done?
Wet and forget in our tanks. So
Did I mention that on their ads?
Did I mention
No,
that it's gonna.
It's all perfect on their ads, you know.
They say disconnect your tanks before applying, which I thought I had, but
Yes.
I thought wrong. So,
And so now you got wet and forget coming through.
yeah, so I'm going to have a shower at your house tonight, Leah.
What's new? Aren't
The
you
whole
the guy-
A
family's
special
coming around.
shower.
7 o'clock shower time.
You can have a shower in my house. You're not doing what he just said. All right? So
Just make sure you lay
45-minute
something
shower.
out on the floor.
the 75 hard is an exercise thing, okay? It's not something else. Let's keep it clean, boys.
Oh, God.
Right. So you've lost 3 kgs,
Yeah.
4% body
Yeah,
fat.
about 3 kgs.
Do you think you've lost any weight?
Probably maintain. I probably have lost about a kg or so. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm sitting around 79, 80
79.
kgs.
Yeah, 80. That's definitely where I want to hit. I wish Boss was here because he would tell you he was dropping big time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was doing really
that's
well.
for sure.
I think, do we think it's more than 9 kgs now or 8 kgs?
Oh, it must be.
He's definitely looking good.
Yeah.
He's looking great. So the thing works. This whatever this thing is, 75 hard, it does well and it does work.
And for you?
I'll tell you a little story, John, that I probably shouldn't tell you.
Oh, here we go.
You know that tournament that you set up?
Yes.
You know how 88 kgs was one of the brackets?
Mm.
Yeah, I walked into that one at 90. And I was like, if there's weigh-ins today, I'm going to go up a class. And then I don't know if you did weigh-ins or I somehow missed the scales. I was definitely fighting at 90 kgs. And so now I'm down to 84 and a half.
Oh, that's very good.
So,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I've stabilized the last 2 weeks. I'm just bouncing between 84 and a half and 85. And so now I'm like, okay, I either have to take it another step of getting really serious with the food I'm eating, because I've stuck to a diet, but I'm not like, oh, I got to measure this.
No, I
gotta
don't think you
weigh
need
this.
to do. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
just, maybe my portions could be a bit smaller or something, because I'm definitely doing the 2 workouts every day. I find that the easiest part. The
Yeah, you've
hardest
been
part
killing it,
is,
man.
is
Killing it.
drinking this 4 liters of water.
It's
on
it's
the
actually
spin
remembering
bike.
to do it. Like, how many times have you forgotten to drink a whole bunch of water, and then it's like 4 o'clock, and you're like, I've got another 3 liters to go.
Yeah.
For me, it's changing our lifestyle. Like, if I want to drive from town back to my office,
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to make sure I've gone to the bathroom. Or if not, because I've had 2 or 3 incidents in traffic, because Auckland's beautiful with its traffic, I'm like, I'm going to pee in this bottle. Like, I don't know where else I'm going to pee. Like, where can I pee? I'm stuck on the motorway. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
in
gotta
that
go.
situation, I know.
And
I've been next to I've just parked next to the motorway, gone around the corner, and just did it there.
That's the one thing you gave me the first advice. You're like, just pee in the bushes, bro. Just pee in the bushes. I was like, what? I was going for a run this morning and I need to pee. Just pee in the bushes. You said that you've got like a spider sensors that you know where like toilets are around you.
I think
and your body
what I was saying is my body almost it realizes where I am. So I'm not thinking about it at all, but I'll go down to botany and it'll be like, you need to go to the toilet now. I'm like,
Maybe we need to like download a toilet app that just picks up where you are
I've
and
actually
then
got that
tells
app.
you.
but so,
you know?
so I don't feel like I need to go to the toilet. And then as soon as I start getting into the vicinity, I start going,
Maybe
That's
I
why
could.
I said singling.
you might need to go look for a toilet.
I was in an important meeting and I had to leave 3 times. 3 times.
Three
That's when
times,
I knew.
man.
It was like,
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
That's
all
because
the
you
time.
rushed the first one. You're like, oh, I got to get back in the meeting. If you just calm down, do some breathing techniques.
right, gotta let it all flow
Yeah,
out.
let
If you
it
think I was
all out.
stopping it midstream and
Yeah,
going back in there.
rushing back in.
I think the
and
worst is when
damn
you're
it.
in a meeting and you're like underneath the chair going, tapping your foot, tapping the foot, tapping your foot. And then eventually you're just going, just stop this meeting, damn it.
Is there a point to this meeting? Because I need to pee. Right now.
Yeah, please. No,
That's the
I'm
hardest
quite
part
honest
for
with
me.
everyone now. I just go, I need to go to the toilet now. I'm sorry.
They must be like, what
Drinking
the-
4 liters of water.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you say you're drinking the 4 liters of water, people might understand. But yeah, I have to figure out when to drink that water.
Yeah.
And I have to look at my calendar and go, too many meetings. So not now, but then straight after that. And the worst part, I don't know if you've done this, I started doing it like, oh, I still got, let's say half a liter to go and it's 10 o'clock at night and I'll jug it back. And then I go to sleep. And on the hour, every hour, you're getting up to pee. And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this is
it can
not-
affect your
this
sleep
is
a little
not-
bit,
yeah.
eh?
So you got to time it.
Yeah,
That's
you
probably
do.
the hardest one.
The
I don't know if
read-
that's for you. If you had that.
Reading for me is the one I've been called out a number of times, mainly in the weekend because the kids take up so much of your time. And I'll be like, oh, no, it's like 9:30 at night and I haven't read one page. And then you got to try and stay awake to read 10 pages.
Isn't it weird? Like, all these people who are bookworms and they just read and read and read, like they don't get tired. Like I start reading a book and I'm
It's just
sort of like
fall asleep.
nodding down, Does that happen with you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do
It
these people like
does,
read these books
does.
like day in, day out, like for hours on end and just
Because they're
not get
bookworms, they're
tired?
smart, and they're probably retired at 30 years of age, and they can just sit at home and read a book.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I fall asleep all the time. Yeah.
So speaking of books, are aliens real, John? Or?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay.
This book I'm reading now. So the first book I read on the challenge was A Witness to Roswell. So it looked at the couple days before the event, and then on the day, and then the few days afterwards. I didn't really know much. I knew that something happened in Roswell, and they said it was this flying saucer
It's
or
just an
whatever
air balloon.
else, but never knew.
Or
Eh?
weather balloon, whatever it was. It was
What's
a weather
it?
balloon. It was just a weather
Yeah,
balloon.
it was just a weather balloon, but there was like, military there for days and days on end. So it's a lot for just a weather balloon. But it was really interesting just reading about the people who are there on the ranch, all the people in the military, the people in the town, like all the stuff. And so after I read that, I was like, that's quite interesting.
Do you want to go to? Have you been out there?
I'd actually love to go now.
Yeah, I'd love to go.
Yeah.
You should have been part of that group that was going to charge Area 51. Do you know about this?
I remember something about that.
So it was a Facebook group, and it's like, they can't stop us if we all go.
Oh,
And like
yes, they will.
1.5 million people said, yes, we will be there.
Oh,
and then 2 people turned up.
And then, on the day, I
Charge.
can't remember what it was. On the day, there was just like a couple of hundred. And but like the reporters were there, like
Typical.
CNN and all that are there.
Oh,
They're
my
like, these
gosh.
people are like, oh, we're going to do it. But yeah, I think,
But we don't want to get shot.
yeah, we don't want to get shot. But
Exactly.
nothing happened.
No, but I think what was quite amazing with it is all the people are pretty much dead now. Like the first, the first case witnesses,
Right.
because it's like over 70 years ago now
Oh, I was
of
gonna,
it happening.
I thought
So
you
I
were
mean,
gonna say
these
they've
guys were like in
been
their
assassinated.
40s, 50s already. So they're all dead now, and even so, you're kind of hearing these stories now from the children or the grandchildren of these guys. So that during this book that I read, like it's been over 35 years or so that it took them to actually create this book, and they've republished some of it over the years. Of more people have come forward to give more interviews, but it's just there's too many even now. Like with the hearings, the Senate hearings that are happening with a lot of these whistleblowers that are coming forward to tell their stories. You read the stuff that they've mentioned in Roswell, like about the craft and what they found and all that sort of stuff, and then you start reading about you hear about these whistleblowers, then you listen to Bob Lazar and like what he's saying about all the stuff that he went through and like S4 and Roswell. It's just too many people
It's too much
with
stuff.
too
is there?
many of the same stories and mentioning the same technology. So, and with this Roswell incident, the guys, I mean, they had this massive like 18-wheeler or whatever it is, like military, like just come straight through the town, not going through the outskirts or whatever. They went straight through the middle of Roswell to the base, and then tucked it into like a shed over there. And some of these, a lot of the beings that were were found. I think what really struck me is I read something that's the Moment of Contact documentary we were talking about. I think it's Virginia, where they had where there was a UFO. Have you heard about that?
Was that recent or something? Eh?
No. So this happened in
the doco came
documentary.
But it happened in 1996, I think.
No, 93 or something around about there. Yeah,
I'm
96 or 93. But
this podcast is slowly going to turn into a UFO.
It is, yeah.
Listening about BJJ.
But so what happened was this guy. So there was a crash in Brazil, in Virginia. I hope I'm saying that name right.
Well, some Brazilians can come after you. Oh, you know Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's true. So this guy basically, this alien was walking. Well, they found this alien in town. These girls, and so they were walking just down this alleyway. I know exactly. There's some things I'm going to tell you now, and this is like some of the stuff you're going to
It's
say.
going to change my life forever.
It was having one of John's drinks.
Yeah. So there was a crash. So there was a crash, okay? This guy witnessed this crash, then got chased away by the military. And then 7 days later, these two girls were walking down an alleyway and they saw this alien. And it was crouching down and it turned towards them and they were like, what is this thing? They thought it was a demon and they ran away. And then they went back again to try and figure out like what it was. And they caught this thing.
Not the girls.
Not the girls, but the military. So the military
police officers.
The military caught this alien, and the guy that actually caught it died like 2-3 days later from an infection,
which was unknown. Look at your face.
Yeah,
you so have to go watch the doco.
But you know what's weird about it? So this happened, this incident happened. Okay, and one of the things that these ladies said is the smell of this alien. It said it was like. You couldn't, even when they took this to took it to the hospital, they had to close down like a part of the hospital because it stank so much. They just couldn't get the smell out. And when they were in the vicinity there, they just said they just couldn't get the smell out this alien.
The alien hadn't washed its skin.
They don't have Rexona in space.
Yeah.
Their Rexona smells a bit different.
Yeah. And then so this Roswell book that I got, like I just got it out from the botany library, and I just turned, like when you just look at a book and like, oh, what's this thing? Turn to a page. So I turned to this page. This page that I turned to, one of the first sentences that I read there was this guy, Mac Brazil or whatever his name was, the guy who was on the ranch who found the UFO, said that he couldn't handle the smell of the aliens. That was the first sentence.
So there's some connection there.
And I was like, that's when I took the book out and I wanted to read it.
Damn. You took that out from the library. I wonder now that you scanned it in the QR code, they got this John Mellows. He's UFO guy. Yeah. This all goes back to the FBI like this guy. This guy's getting too close to the truth.
This guy,
but that's weird, right?
That is. There's some connection there.
So then, okay, this is going to be even more freaky. So then when I was... That day, the day that I failed in my 75 hard challenge, so I was there sitting at the airport.
You're not going to blame it on aliens, are you?
No.
That's a good excuse. Huh?
It's the aliens.
It's the aliens as well. He didn't finish it. Anyway,
but Joe Rogan,
on
Twitter, basically messaged and said, "This is going to take you down a rabbit hole." And I was like, "Okay, what's this?"
Oh, good.
So I clicked on it. It's this guy on Reddit who apparently worked at one of these facilities that had one of these aliens, and he did the autopsy on them, and he went into massive detail of like what is made up, like the anatomy and stuff like that. So they called the ones that they saw in Virginia and the ones that in Roswell, they call those the gray aliens. Those are the ones that we used to like with the big eyes and the heads and whatever. Yeah. And the smell thing comes from what they're saying is part of their anatomy is like how when we sweat, like when we're running and we sweat and stuff like that, and we've got like, we drink 40s of water and then we go to the toilet and we, empty ourselves.
Right.
They don't have that.
Oh.
So all their secretions and stuff like that come through like their skin, but there's a layer on top of that skin that basically protects, like you don't have that smell. It just kind of gets absorbed through the atmosphere or whatever it is. So that's one of they saying. So then I went back to what they were saying with the crash and whatever. So if you think about it, if they get cut or anything like that, then all the basically like all these secretions and stuff come. That's why you get that terrible smell.
Huh.
And they said it smells like ammonia or like formaldehyde type of
like wet and forget in your tank water. Maybe there's a freaking alien in there. Have a look.
It's a nice little house. Bathing in your tank.
Yeah.
There you go.
But there you go, yeah.
Whew.
Man,
so that's a bit of a rabbit hole, isn't it?
I'm going to bring that.
But the thing is, so just coming back to that's. But then you had those Senate hearings that came in and they're talking about all all this technology a lot of these companies have at the moment, which could solve our energy crisis and whatever. So it's like, I think there's so many more people that are coming out.
Yes.
And they've got all these different stories. And probably the big one for me is like, I don't really care about the alien stuff is all cool and all that, but it's more the technology. It's like these companies, like if they've got these anti-gravity like UFOs that is like can basically just take you out to space and back, and we've got Elon Musk there with his freaking rockets going up and coming back down, and we think that's amazing. Like that's just old technology if you think about it. And the amounts of energy that you need in order to actually that it uses to get these crafts up and around or whatever else. I mean, that could like all our nuclear energy, all that sort of stuff, like oil. We don't need all that stuff anymore. No. So that's more and that's what this bill that they're trying to pass in the Senate is to basically force these companies if they've got any technology that's kind of UFO alien technology, that they need to disclose it. But the thing is, like, I don't think anything will come of it because it's
if you're really the big powerhouses of the world, and let's say you run the oil in the world, and you do have new technology that could replace that, and it would be better for everybody, but you wouldn't make as much money.
Oh, they wouldn't make any money at all.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
They're not going to release it.
No.
They'll be like, oh, no. It's like the diamonds. They're not the scarce product. It's all been held by certain families in South Africa and stuff. And then we've been made to believe that a diamond costs a lot, and we should, spend a lot of money to put it on our partner's finger. But actually, there's a truckload of them. They're all locked up in vaults. So there you go. Same sort of concept.
Yeah.
Different.
Just different. Yeah. But there you go.
Man,
so Carl, I think I've like rocked your world today.
Yeah. I'm like, go home and tell the missus.
Go home now.
There's aliens in our tank.
No, what you're thinking is, I thought I came in for a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu podcast, and I walked out of the UFO podcast.
I could be sitting next to two aliens right now. Who knows?
Maybe. Let me bring back the smell to a question to you. Do you wash your gi?
Do I smell?
Do you wash your gi?
I do wash my gi.
After every roll?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Do you wash your belt?
Never.
See, we all went through that same thing.
It stays in my car. It literally stays in my car. I figure,
you take it to meetings?
Especially in summer, the sun will come in and
he uses it to whip himself.
Cook anything, yeah. I don't know. It's just so I'll forget it.
It's a good question because we were asking it before if anyone here does actually wash their belt, and I said in about 3 years, I think I've only washed it twice.
Yeah, probably the same. I might have. No, I don't think I've ever washed my blue belt. I think when I was white belt, I used to wash it with the gi.
Were you trying to? What colour was your
tint
gi?
it.
Yeah, what colour was your gi? Black.
Yeah. Well, my wife has turned one pink.
Just used to shove it, just used to, by mistake, shove it in there with his blue gi.
His blue gi. Yeah. Actually, let's talk about your blue belt. Let's talk about your journey. Like, what got you into jiu-jitsu?
Wow, man.
To get into the blue belt. We haven't had a blue belt on the show yet.
No, we haven't actually.
Yeah, came across it by
welcome 1 hour into the show after all that UFO stuff. Welcome.
No, I think, I fell into it. I had no idea really what it was about at all. But I knew I was getting middle-aged, overweight, and sitting at a desk all day. So I was like, right, I want to go learn a martial art, but I was like, I want to go learn something that actually might be useful if somebody tries to kick my ass.
Oh. Are you getting into fights a lot?
No,
Okay.
not at all. So probably no need for it.
Is this a couple of years ago, or are you talking 10 years ago? What are we talking about?
4 or 5 years ago
Okay.
now, when
Yeah.
you throw COVID in. So yeah, started under Polo out in Ceriso, which is now Alliance, I understand. And that was intense, man. That's a pretty phenomenal sports jiu-jitsu school, like, and yeah, they train hard, man. Like
They want to go all the way. They want to get pretty pro.
Pretty much spent two years there getting my ass kicked.
What was day one like?
Badly.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was like shrimping, and I managed to figure that out pretty quick. And I think Paolo was like, "Are you sure you haven't trained before?" And I was like, "Nope."
You just wanted a sparring partner. Yeah, you look like you're good. Come here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rip your arms off.
pretty humbling though. Like when you do start rolling, you're just like, "Oh my god, this sucks." I'm getting owned here. But then it becomes an addiction, eh?
Well, yes, actually, I've got a question for you afterwards about if it is an addiction. So your journey from white belt to blue belt, is that overnight? The 2 years, the 4 years we're talking about? How did that happen?
No, well, it was probably, 2 years, I think it took me.
And are you training twice a week?
Three times a week I was training there.
Pretty good to get to blue belt.
3 times a week. But it was slowly killing me.
Okay. In what way?
Just the body.
Okay.
Dislocated thumb, broken
Dislocated
rib.
thumb. Broken rib. I like
broken rib.
What else you got?
And oh mate, I was just exhausted. Like it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 a.m. And the Fridays was like an hour and a half to 2 hours of straight rolling. Like you went in, you did a warm up, and then you just rolled. And Paolo wouldn't let you sit out much. Like if I'd normally crawl off the mats, nearly
I try and do
dead
that.
and dying.
I sneak off the mats from time to time, but yeah.
Yeah, and he'd let you sit next to him and chat away for a bit, and then he'd just get back in there.
He knew what you were trying to do.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty intense. It was probably a real good crash course of jiu-jitsu, but.
Because you were doing like the early morning classes, hey?
Yeah, 5.
That's pretty. I mean, I must say for those guys who open up their gym at like 6 o'clock in the morning, that's pretty good going.
Yeah, well, he does it for a living. That's his main thing.
If we had our own spot, I think we probably would, But we just limited to like what hours we have.
Yeah.
Us, we probably would,
Carl, you can't live at your house anymore. I mean, you got no more water. Why don't we change that into the big gym and we'll open it all day?
We could just make your house the gym.
Yeah.
You
could just
turn the
move out.
garage into it, deck it out.
We need more than the garage, but I like the thinking.
We do, eh? School's grown a lot, hasn't it?
And so you did grading. You got your stripes through grading, or were you given some at random?
Yeah, no, I went from third stripe white belt to blue belt.
Hey?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Like,
is that allowed?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
You're that good.
Well, we had the grading, which was pretty intense, and then just rolled for like an hour after you showed the things, and just literally got owned by the black belts and the brown belts. And I think what Polo was looking for is that you weren't panicking and spazzing out like a new white belt. Yeah. Yeah, that you could sort of stay calm and have some idea of what not to do and to try and get out of trouble. So no, it was cool. I remember getting it and driving home thinking, cool, man.
I'm a blue belt.
Yeah, I'm a blue belt.
Did you get your blue belt in the morning? Like when you went to your normal morning session?
Yeah, all grading was always at night, and everyone was, you just expected the whole club would turn up.
Okay.
Even if you weren't grading. And you had to wear a white gi. No
really?
black. Yep.
Why is that?
White gi, just tradition, I think.
It's kind of, it's funny you say that, because I was talking to Bear, so that's Trent down, this is an Australian guy, runs Bear Cave, Jiu-Jitsu, and I was sharing a hotel room, nothing untowards with all of that. And he was saying to me, like, we were just talking about our clubs and what he does and what we're doing, and he said that he only wanted to wear a black gi once he had a black belt. So he went through the whole way just with the white and blue gi, and then only when he was a black belt
Do you know, I've thought of the same thing.
Really?
So that's why I don't have a black gi. I'm like, you shouldn't wear a black gi until you deserve
I've never
colour.
ever crossed my mind at all. Like, I just got all types of gis when I was...
First gi I bought was white because of tradition. First gi I wore to your club was white because I didn't know when I walked in.
Yeah.
If I rock in with my blue one, that you guys are like, we don't wear colours here, man.
Who's this guy?
And so I walked in with my white one, and I was the only one with the white one. Everyone's got light pink.
Yeah.
There's greys in there now. Like,
Yeah, well, my blue gi is actually more purple.
yes.
I think it's just a storm thing because I noticed
That way to forget
Ford's
it.
got the same gi and it's gone purple instead of blue.
He's trying to tell us something.
Yeah,
Purple belt.
purple, mate. That's
There
where
you
it's
go.
at. But
And so
Yeah.
yeah,
now
I don't
you're
know,
blue
just a
belt,
bit
2
more.
stripes.
Yeah, 2 stripes,
There you
and
go.
it looks like they've been through the wash because they're starting to fall off. Maybe it's trying to tell me something.
It means you just need another stripe.
Demoted, yeah.
Are you? Where do you want to go with jiu-jitsu now? Are you looking to do some tournaments? You just want to keep it as a fitness thing?
Yeah, competing. I don't know, man. Like, I think I probably will compete once I sort my knee out because I don't want to compete. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've never really had an interest in it, and I think that's probably because most of the guys that came back from Cereso, 9 times out of 10 came back with an injury.
Right. Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? I've got the kids, I've got work, I just don't need that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But now I'm like, just because I don't really want to, I think I have to. But also, I need to get my confidence back in my body, like with my knee and stuff.
Your knee's
just-
really screwed at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is getting off the ground to standing or standing to the ground, which is quite bloody crucial for jiu-jitsu.
It hurts, right?
Yeah.
And it hurts being on your knee as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, kneeling on my knee. But mate, I went for a 3.5K run last night. I wasn't trying to break any records or anything, but because I'm not putting my knee in that 90 degrees, like, it was a bit funny. The meniscus is a bit funny today, but it didn't hurt on that run. But as soon as I try and kneel down to get on the floor, like, nah.
I wonder if you got something that's very close to what Lachlan had, which is, he told me what it is, but it's basically this little sponge part of on your knee or in your knee.
Yeah.
And when that goes, it's like, I think Matt Perkins had this as well. And when you kneel down, it's sore, like it's very painful.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, eh?
Yeah.
Like,
But you've got, might be that, but it's also other stuff that you have. Like, I know your meniscus is gone. Or
yeah. If I turn certain ways, it can catch, and that's really painful. Like someone shoved a knife in there.
Yeah.
But the most debilitating thing for training is the getting up and down. Like, so I'll probably roll on Tuesday and Thursday, but I won't stand up. I'll start sitting down. And I probably won't expect to do very well.
Or some of those rolls on a Tuesday, Thursday night sometimes can feel like a competition. Like, it's depending on who your partner is, and depending if
So
you
it
tell
depends,
them
like,
you
what
tell
we're
them you
doing.
want to go 100%, it can get there. I know you always tell us to roll nicely and not go insane, and we try.
Well, you learn quicker that way, don't you? But it just doesn't happen, eh?
I think it's hard when we do, because a lot of stuff we also do is positional drills. So with those, you in like very specific positions, and then which might be, I don't know, back control, and then it's like, okay, get out of back control, and you've got to try and trying to maintain back control. That takes a lot of effort and a lot of, especially, it actually is quite hard on your knees too.
Yeah.
So it just, I guess those are quite, and I think that's where Ollie hurts himself a little, because when we were doing those K-guard positional drills, and then him putting a lot of pressure on his ribs and whatever. So I don't know. I think we're all just getting old. So
Yeah,
it's just,
I think that's half my problem. Is just reality.
Yeah, it's just. I think we were having this discussion with Sashin, is actually just recognizing that you aren't in your 20s anymore.
Yeah.
That that you do have to, as you get older, and especially like jiu-jitsu over 40, you have to change your game. Like, 'cause you're just not going to have the explosiveness of what like a young person would have. Yeah.
See, how old were you when you started it? 4 years ago, you said?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 years ago, because there was that
16,
almost
17
2-year break
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the
with the COVID.
lockdowns and all
Yeah.
that rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 38, maybe 37, 38.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think I was similar.
Yeah,
And I think I've come in thinking I'm 20, and
Yeah.
I'm not. And I got to stop thinking that I can do things, because I watch the young guys on the mat. I'm like,
But I think the great
Oh,
thing is,
mate,
I think
yeah.
as you get more experience in jiu-jitsu, then you can play like a half guard game, or a game that's not as athletic, but you can still achieve what you want to achieve. So it's just different, right? Like,
yeah.
it's hard when you're at
Debatable.
white belt and you got to try, because you're just trying to survive the whole time.
Well,
yes.
that's what I feel like a lot of the time, It's like, I know my mind is like, just pop up and get around that. Yeah, no. It doesn't
Mind
doesn't
plays tricks,
happen.
doesn't it?
Yeah. But I tell you what, it would be a hell of a lot easier if you're like purple belt or brown belt in your 40s, because at least you
'Cause
can
you've been
rely on
through
your
it, you've done a
technique.
lot.
Yeah.
Like,
I've thought about that.
Yeah,
But you eventually do get to that level.
yeah. I
And
think
just-
it's like just keep turning up,
it is keep turning.
Because
up,
I
yeah.
remember that at Cereso, I was like, people just dropped like flies, man.
Yeah.
Like, they did have a very intense, like, the classes were ridiculous in terms, like, the warm up was 1,000 reps or something. You'll stand in a line and you have a turn calling out an exercise like squats or push ups or whatever, and you have to do 100 of them.
Whoa.
And you call out in tens, everyone, one person calls it out. And when you get to 10, everyone's 10, and then 20, 30, up to 100, and then on to the next one until you've done 1,000.
Each start of each training.
Yep.
Well, John.
And then you start. And it's like, so it was pretty intense. I think a lot of people walked out because they're just like, nah, man, I can't keep up with that.
Fair enough.
And then the rolling was pretty hard, and I think that weeded out a lot of people as well.
It comes down to, and this is a topic of club culture.
Mm.
And yes, it comes from the top down, like, like a corporate job, like who are the people at the top and what is the culture that you want. So I'm guessing he wanted a strong, like very mental, tough club, and that's what they were doing. Where I think Mello's jiu-jitsu is more, hey, come in, have some fun. If you want to compete, we can take up the tempo, but chill out if you want to chill out.
Yeah, possibly a bit more accessible to, someone starting out that doesn't have the level of fitness or
True.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, no, Paulo was awesome. He's, very encouraging and all that side of things.
You
but
got to say that. He might listen to this podcast.
push. Yeah, true. Well, I need to go back there and see him, but
Right.
I'm like, he'll just want to probably roll with me for 20 minutes straight and just break me.
see where you've been up to.
I honestly don't think that there's any right or wrong. Like, so there's just some clubs that are more competition focused. There's others that are, like it's Ceresos, where they want to, they just want more. Their roles are more intense and just more. I don't think there's any right or wrong. I just think I think where there needs to be consistency across all clubs is that in terms of promotions, that those people need to be they need to put their time in. I always we always go on about it. It's just you need to put the time on the mat in order to progress. And for some people, that's going to be a lot quicker, especially if you're doing more sessions and
turning up all the time, eh?
And then others, it'll just be you'll be a more of a consistent pace and a little bit slower. But eventually you'll get there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's me now. Like doing jiu-jitsu in my 40s, I'm like, I don't really care about the belts or the stripes or anything. I just want to turn up. And if I can't turn up twice, that week or even at all that week, as long as I get back on the horse as soon as possible and keep coming, I think is a goal for me.
Yeah, no, that's
Well
good.
said.
Yeah.
Well said.
What have you got there on your screen?
I had a question. I thought we could do something where we say ask the coach a question.
Oh, okay.
So I think we agree. You're the coach in this room.
All right.
We can then hand it over to our special guest Carl afterwards. So this comes from the BJJ Reddit forum, and the question goes: are you really training 3 times a day? And it says, so from what I've read on here, quite a few of you are doing classes in the morning, in noon, and in the evening, and you're not even professional. I'm sorry, but that does not sound like a hobby. This sounds like an unhealthy addiction.
Sounds like someone's jealous.
So, yes, I was trying to read it in that tone.
Hang on, three times a day.
3 times a day. So the question for you, we'll come to you in a second. The question to you, John, is it an unhealthy addiction to be training 3 times a day at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
No.
Oh, I like a bit more than that, please.
Just do what you want. I mean, if you can cope with it and your body can take it, then
Yes.
yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Jiu-Jitsu addictive?
Yeah, I think it is. It's it depends on your personality, totally. Like if you're
You
a
need to
little
like pain?
bit competitive, and like
You like
if
to
you
be
get
choked out.
yeah. If you do get choked out, you're either like, oh no, I suck, or how did that happen? That's not going to happen next week.
Yes.
So you do want to come back, I reckon. I think that's how it
I think it's
sucks you in.
it's a good one because Hunter was saying this to me. I think it was last week or the week before, because he was doing a really good pass, like close guard pass, not putting his hand on the mat to get, as soon as you do that, you can get triangled. And he did it with me, like really good pressure and got past. And I was like, oh, well done. He's like, yeah. He says, Adam was doing triangles on me all the time. So that taught me just to make sure that my hand is in the right place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's how
So I
you
think you learn. Yeah.
Do you think it's unhealthy to train 3 times a day? If you could, if you had no mortgage, you are set for life, would you train 3 times a day?
Probably not. I'd probably do 2. I would do 2. Like doing the 75 hard has proved to me that all those days where I was like, oh, I'm a bit tired.
Yes.
It's literally just been a lazy bum.
Yes.
Like there's really no excuse.
All that really just takes is planning. That's all it is. Like, and if you just can plan your days. Like even though I missed that day, that 75 hard day, I still planned like as best I could. Like I was like, okay, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to go to that 6 o'clock CrossFit session. Then I'll get at lunch. I'll quickly go out and just do like a 45-minute walk or whatever it is. But yeah.
Got your meals ready.
Yeah.
Got your water ready. Yeah, absolutely. I was making lunches on the weekend for the Monday to about Thursday. You get that all prepped up, and it's that routine that you said. It is mental toughness. We were lazy people. We were definitely lazy.
Yep.
And now 2 45-minute workouts doesn't seem like such a big thing for me in a day.
You're doing really amazing though. So you go in the morning, because at first you wanted to come to Fortis, do some of the CrossFit stuff.
I did, but I've got knee problems too, and I saw how much you guys were like squatting and lifting. I was like, I'm going to die. And my knee's just going to go...
Yeah.
And so then I changed it and I went to All Fitness so I could start doing the spin classes, which is good sweat.
And you've been loving those classes, like you really enjoy them, eh?
Yeah, I enjoy all their classes they do. But yeah, and then Jiu-Jitsu, of course.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. And then if like you said, if there's a situation where you just can't make it to anything, I walk the dog, and there's been like 1 a.m. walks, like, because like by the time, like you said, you get home, you've done this, you've done that, you got to do some emails.
I feel really bad. I should have just gone out and that, look like a nut.
Sometimes I'm wondering, like, I'm walking at midnight, I'm like, is anyone like going, why is this guy out on the street at midnight? Like, it's 75 hard. Like,
the cops
boss got pulled over. Yeah. He's like, why are you walking in the rain? I'm doing this thing called 75 hard. And they're like, off you go.
Yeah, like you actually cannot get arrested if you're doing 75 hard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a true fact? disclaimer on this podcast.
There we go. Yeah.
But look, I've loved it, John. So I'm thankful that I think you're the one that told me about it. I'm sure you're the one like you do 75 hard. So I'm thinking when this one's done, like a 1 week break or less. I think I got to go to Sydney. I think I'm going to have one glass of wine, and then I'm coming back onto another 75 hard.
Yeah. You're going to do another 75? Because I've been thinking about that. Eh?
Yeah. You want to do one together?
Like make your own one.
Well, yeah. Like it's okay if you don't drink 3.7 litres and pee half of your organs out. But, like if you want to do one together.
Yeah, well, I have been thinking, well, you know, this is cool because it's you know exactly what you're doing, and then after that you can just go into oblivion.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I want to have my lifestyle to be moving forward? And I'm like, maybe like do 1 month at a time and fine tune stuff or try different things, like switch the diet up. Or
because heaps of people are like, oh, as soon as you come off the 75 hard, you're gonna like go out and drink. I'm like, actually, that's the least thing I want to do.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to touch that alcohol.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. I think it puts you into a routine, and hopefully you try and carry on with that routine as you go. You know, and it's funny. Like another lady, Sharon at CrossFit, like she told me the other day, like she's not doing 75 hard, but she did like dry July.
Yes.
And so she hasn't drunk alcohol for like a whole month, and she's like, well, I actually feel really good.
Yeah.
Doing it. So I think she's gonna maybe carry on doing that too. Yeah.
And I'm not getting the cravings for McD's or KFC. I thought I would. I'm just
but
even
I think
it's there. I see them. I'm like, nah.
But do you think like the first week or two or the third week where you, because that's what I found. I found the first week absolutely fine. You know, and it's kind of just sailing through, and you almost like think to yourself, oh, it's not hard at all.
Yes.
And then it's normally for me, it's the second or third week that things start going. It's like, oh,
the honeymoon period's
really
over.
Do with a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate.
Chocolate sitting next to me, especially on a Friday.
Yeah.
I'd love a bit of chocolate.
My wife is like vicious. She leaves an open pack of M&Ms or like M&M peanuts, like open, like on the counter or in the fridge, and I open the fridge door and I'm like, whew.
Got a fright.
Like, yeah, I just walk away. I just like, nah, gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So there you go.
That's good. I think it's good you doing the gym in the morning and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we all are. So it's good on all of us. So anyway, anyone listening to this wants to do 75 hard, go talk to John. He's the expert. He's done it twice.
Not the expert now. Like you guys are much more the experts than what I am in this time round. That's for sure.
You just pee a lot and lose weight. It's great.
Yeah.
There you go. Any other final thoughts?
I think that's it. At least like we didn't have any mechanicals.
We don't know yet. We got to check that it did record.
It's still recording.
Still recording. There's a little red button. Good. That's the weird thing is I'm pretty sure I saw the red button the last time.
Oh, here we go.
But there we go.
Thank you.
That's right.
Carl, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Any last words from you?
Nah, train hard.
Don't wash your own roof. Get a professional person to do it.
Yeah, yep. Don't
train
get
hard.
wet and forgetting your tanks. It's not a good look.
All right, cool. Thanks, people. Cheers.